Bienvenidos a todos. Welcome everyone. I am the Seamster. What am I doing today? Today I'm going to be showing you guys how to build the extended bumper off of your food truck or your food trailer. And I want to explain step by step on how to do this because I believe that it is very important that you have this extended bumper to be able to haul extra coolers, barbecue grills, extra containers, and the ever so popular trash can. That's right, everyone. You may go to events where they have to have trash cans outside of your food truck or your food trailer. How are you going to get it there? You plan on putting it inside your food truck or your food trailer? If a healthy safety inspector sees that you are hauling a bacteria-infested, dirty trash can inside of your food truck or food trailer, you are going to be shut down for the entire day. That's right. It's best to have an extended bumper so that you may be able to haul these things outside of your food truck or your food trailer and get it there safely. That's right, everybody. Look at me, I'm a monkey. So come on, everybody, let's get started. I'm going to show you step by steps on how to build the extended bumper on the back of your food truck or your food trailer. Let's do this. So let me explain what I'm trying to do here. I want to extend this bumper out about 2 feet. I'm probably going to go about 2 feet 3 inches, okay, because the generator is typically going to be right around 2 feet wide, maybe just a little bit less. And I want that generator to be able to go on the back of this bumper. So it's going to be reinforced box steel. So 2-inch by 3-inch, 1/8-inch box steel. Okay, so what I want that to do is, you can see I got a trailer hitch that's on the back side of this, and I want to keep that. So I'm going to have to notch this out and then let this ride flat all on top of this hitch here, and then it'll mount on the side of the hitch, and then I'm going to have it angled up into the frame there. But you're going to see that as I go, and this is very important. So if you want to put propane tanks on the back side of this and box them in, or even carry anything else that you might need at your event, maybe you might be needing this video to see this. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this up about 1 inch and then bring it down. So this is a big box under here, so I'm going to show you this, what I'm talking about. It's a little bit dark. There it is right there. You can see this is pretty wide right here, okay? So I need to cut all of this right here out, just enough for that box steel to slide in. And that's probably going to be about a 1/2 inch right there, but it's going to take a little bit. And then what I want that to do is mount alongside here, okay? So it'll just run right straight across there, and then I'll run some self tappers right through there or bolt it on. But I am going to go ahead and weld that to this also. But first things first, I need to be able to cut this out right now. That way I can get my exact measurements. Then we're going to go in the garage. I'm going to start cutting up that box steel and start scabbing it together. When I say scabbing it together, that means putting all the pieces, cut all the pieces out and make sure all the measurements are right so it's ready to be welded. If you don't have a welder, listen, that's fine. As long as you can go get the box steel from any big box store or so on and so forth, then you can go ahead and scab this up, because you're going to have your little metal grinder already, your 4-inch metal cutting wheel, so you're just going to use that to cut your metal up. So you just scab that together on the floor, make it look like what you want it to be, and then all you do is you take it to a welding shop and you just tell them, I need these welded together, and they'll weld it for a reasonable price, because they're not having to do any of the legwork, because everything will be marked, and then all they do is just go in and just make their welds. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this cut out. Sometimes these little grinding wheels, they just can't get close enough, so you gotta somehow get that close enough so you can have that nice and flat resting against this here. So some of you may not have a rear hitch on the back of your food truck, but if you do, then simply cut just a little bit above here, and you're gonna just let that ride against this hitch here, this box tubing, and it's gonna mount to this this hitch here and also the frame. If you don't have a hitch, well then you'd have to make your cuts right here. Okay, so if you didn't have this hitch, you'd have to make your cut right about here, and then that box tubing would go right on into your frame. So on the back side, this is your frame right in here. So you would have to make your cut right in this box cutout right here, and then your box tubing would come in here and ride on this ledge here. Okay, and that's that. But I'm going on the opposite side, and I'll be on the other side of this trailer hitch. My cutout is right there, and then my box tubing will come right along here. This is 2" by 3", and this is an 1/8" thick. Okay, so this is really heavy duty steel right here that you have to have coming off of the frame. The steel that I'm going to be having that runs, that goes around and makes the outer edges, I guess you could say, is going to be a little bit smaller. That's an 1.5" by 2" box steel. Same thing, the 1/8", and but you do need something really super strong that comes off of the frame, because there's going to be a lot of weight back there, whether you have your propane tank back there or you have your generator back there. So I'm going to go ahead and get this cut, the 2 main legs that will come off of the frame, and run all the way to the back part of the bumper there. So I got my one support cut off, so I'm just going to take this out to the truck and slide that in, and so you can get a pretty good idea of what I'm talking about. And then I'm just going to cut up the rest of the pieces, and then we're going to go from there. So we're out here by the truck, and here's where I cut this notch out, and all I'm going to do is take this box steel and let's put this right alongside of here. So let's just see how this works. I already tried, so it's going to work. Right? Or I wouldn't be showing you. It's going to be tight, because that's just how this truck is designed. But as you can see, this will run through like this, and it'll be tight against that this hitch and the frame. Or if you were going here and you made your cutout here, that would simply just butt against the frame, which I would rather prefer. But I have a trailer hitch, and I want that trailer hitch because one day I might want to be towing something, or my son might want to be towing something behind us. So as you can see, this leg comes all the way out. Okay, this leg comes all the way out to here, and then what we'll do, we'll just box this all in, and then there'll be a metal grate, like a fence or a steel grate, where dirt and sediment can go through, so no dirt gets tracked inside of the truck. Just so you know, when you do use this a lot, sometimes these come with a little fuse that will shut this off because it gets too hot. So know that you got to take a little break in between these big cuts right here, because this is just a little handheld grinder. Again, I'm going to stress that if you do not have a welder, that's fine. Remember, just scab it up, take it to the welding place, set it on the floor for them to see it, and then tell them what they need to do. Just like that. Now, it's very important that when you're drilling through steel, thick steel, that you use a smaller drill bit and then go on to a bigger drill bit after them holes are already pre-drilled. It just makes it easier for that bigger drill bit to go through the metal when you already have a hole that's there. As you can see, that the extended bumper is not painted. I suggest highly that you paint it and weld your extended metal that goes on top of this, that mesh on top of this, before you even install this. It's going to be a lot harder, as you're going to see in the video later. Now these bolts that I'm using are 4-inch, half-inch bolts, okay, with lock washers on the other end where the nuts are going to go. And that's plenty long enough to go through that box steel and the frame. Okay, good. When you're doing something for the first time, you realize your mistakes after you already do something. What I should have did is pre-drilled another hole and then fastened this extended bumper into the frame. As you can see, I'm having to drill this over again while I'm underneath the truck. So don't make the same mistake. Drill your 2 holes on each side while the extended bumper is already out. As you can see that the extended bumper is not painted. I suggest highly that you paint it and weld your extended metal that goes on top of this, that mesh on top of this, before you even install this. So now let me go ahead and test this out. Yeah, it's really strong, guys. Like I say, this is a 3-inch by 2.5 box steel, and it's really strong, and it's going to hold pretty much whatever you guys put on the back of this. I wouldn't go more than 2.5 feet. The measurements on this is probably about 2 feet 3 inches, just to make up for the generator that's going to be going on the back of this. So yeah, really strong. And then when you need to step up inside the truck, well then look at there, plenty of room. Okay everybody, I'm back from the metal welding shop, and it's very important that you get familiar with a welding shop or a metal shop if you plan on building your own food truck, because they can do a lot of the work for you as long as you have the plans that you need to do for that specific job. Either it be your window covers or this extended rear bumper. Okay, a lot of the work can be accomplished on your own if you do a lot of the work yourself and take it to the welding shop, and then they'll weld it up for you. If you need help explaining, simply just take a couple of these video clips that I'm doing into them so that they get the idea of what you want to do. Okay, this is a 3/4 inch expanded metal number 9. All right, and it's thick enough so that when we step on this, it's not going to fall right through. It's not like chicken wire. Okay, it's pretty thick. So what I'm going to do, and I suggest to you, is that get your exact measurements. Don't do like I did. I made a mistake and I got overkill here, and I should have just had them cut exactly what I need so that I could just set it right on here and then go ahead and tack weld it down. If you don't have a welder, remember, the idea is for the welding shop so that they get the idea and they can just do it right there for you. And if you already have the idea, well then they don't have to create it themselves and charge you more money for it. So let's just get a close-up view of what I'm going to do here. This part here, like I say, is just waste, and that's what I was saying, is that I should have had this cut just a little bit shorter than my frame, and that would have saved me a lot of cutting. So now what I have to do is I have to just cut this all out to fit. So that's what I'm going to do right now. And as you can see, this is called expanded metal, okay, number 9, 3/4 inch, and it is nice and thick. So when you go to step on it, you just got to have enough support. So if you build yours like how I built mine, you'll have enough support. I guess I could have ran some more channel here and another piece of L channel here, and that would have made it more supportive. Yeah, as you can see, it cuts up pretty easy, so I'm just going to go ahead and finish this up, and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, I got everything cut to where I want it to, and as you can see, you got it just inside the box frame, the lip, I should call it, all the way around. And now what I'm going to do is just simply tack weld every so often, these all the way around. All I'm going to do is just weld every fourth one. So here's the 1, 2, 3, and 4, and I'm just going to do that all the way around. So if you go to a welding shop, you're going to want to have them do the same thing, because if you have them weld every single one of these, more time, more money, as you guys can already tell. But every fourth one is going to work for this. But hey, if you want to go ahead and do every one of those, have at it. And then what I'll end up doing is I'll go back and I'll just grind these down smooth. Tack down all the way around in the spots that I need to do. So all I'm going to do now is just go ahead and take my little grinder and just grind these down flat in all these little areas here. Okay, so I'm going to do that right now. Remember everybody, before you start actually grinding with your grinder, them discs, you know, they carry a lot of asbestos in it, chemicals that it causes cancer. Make sure you got your mask and obviously wear your eye protection. So go ahead and start grinding these down. Now I want you guys to see what I've ground down so you get a good understanding. You don't want to grind that down too much, because remember, you want to keep that strong weld on there. What you want to do is just round that off so it doesn't snag on your pants or your shoes or anything else when you go to step up in here. You can see it just smoothed it out. That's it. You don't want to take it down too much. Like I say, you don't want to take all that weld away from there that it weakens it. I made a mistake, and what I should have did is I should have painted this before I set this down on this flat surface here on these edges and in the center, because what's going to end up happening is that there's going to be rust stains now from this steel. As we know, if it's not covered, it's going to rust or give that rust coating. And so I would suggest, and I'm telling you guys, don't do the same thing I did, is paint this before you put it on. Yes, it's going to bubble up when it goes to be welded to this other steel frame that you have, but it'll just get repainted. You can just sand that down and just repaint that afterwards. So I suggest you use some type of spray paint to paint this before you set this down flat. All right, so what am I going to do now? I'm going to use a Rust-Oleum, okay, enamel paint, and I'm hoping that some of the spray gets under where this is resting on the frame. Okay, and then afterwards, when I'm done spray painting all of this, I'm going to use an enamel roll-on paint. Okay, a nice thick paint, and I'm just going to paint over the top of this again and around this box steel here. So it puts a nice coating of paint that's on that. Regardless, this is going to rust, guys, because you're going to be stepping on it, you're going to be scratching it. And so, you know, if you want perfection, I guess you're just going to have to just keep up with it and keep painting it every year to give it that nice crisp look, which is what you're going to want to do. Because remember, people are going to be looking at the food truck or food trailer on how well it's kept up. All right, so let me go ahead and start painting this up. Alright, so I let this dry for a day, and the spray paint went on pretty good, and I think I pretty much got underneath the grate where I could. I sprayed as much as I could, obviously. I should have painted it, like I said, before I welded this to the main frame. So now what I'm going to use is a Rust-Oleum enamel. Just going to roll it on with a small little roller like this, and I'm going to try to get it everywhere as much as I can, even underneath, backside, and even underneath the frame. It just adds that extra coating, and it's a lot thicker, and seems like it's going to be nice the next couple days, so I'm not worried about any rain. There's probably could be some dust that gets on there, but oh well. So I'm going to go ahead and roll this out right now. And bam, just like that, everybody. That's how you build a suspended bumper off of your food truck or your food trailer. I know, guys, this is some trying times right now with the COVID going around, and a lot of people are making a lot of money with their food truck or food trailers. Why? Because a lot of restaurants are being forced to close, while these are out there making a lot of money. I hope you guys got something out of this video. If you're used to some type of mechanics or construction, these videos may not help you out that much, but I hope I give you guys some type of idea on how to improve your food truck or your food trailer. Remember, the only excuse you can make is the one you actually say. Get out there and do something positive for yourself or someone else. And that's right, everybody. Peace out. Oh, turn up the music.